Live at Bratfest. On the show, we have my dear friend, Mr. Rick Monroe. He's a country artist, Nashville touring guy. Good to have you here, Rick.
Good to be here. How you guys doing?
Good,
Doing
good.
good,
Awesome.
doing good.
Thank you. So much
tell
for
us a
being
little
here.
bit about what you do and what you have going on.
Well, I'm a Virgo. I was born in Florida. I enjoy really slow walks on the beach.
How about along a pond?
Yes. Well, we are along a pond, so I guess I could do that. Only
like
at
to walk
sunset. We got it?
You want
We
to walk
doing
the
this?
pond later with him?
Yes.
He's usually on
You know why? Because
farmersonly.com.
we got the rings going right here, so I'm feeling good about
Ring
this.
Brothers. We'll go.
Yes.
What color socks do you wear?
Hey, if you guys held it,
Right now,
Yeah.
believe it or not, I think I have.
you got
I have monster socks.
Legit.
so
We
if you
forgot to
guys
ask Phil
held
that.
hands, would your rings, would they get
They would.
locked?
They would do this.
Oh, they
Yeah,
would just
exactly.
a little
Amazing.
You would hear us
clingy-clangy?
jingling as we came along.
Jingle,
And,
jangle.
yeah, the
sound of
cowboys
love,
that jingle,
ladies and
jingle,
gentlemen.
jingle, without a doubt.
That's what love sounds like.
Yep,
What's that?
Yep.
That's the sound of love.
that's right.
Romantic walk along the retention pond.
Call it Brokeback Brat.
I like it.
See, already we're going downhill. It's only going to get worse.
Start with that, maybe.
Yeah, Angela, do you have a couple things you want to ask this young
Well,
man?
I do.
No, actually, I am from Florida. I live in Nashville. I play,
Excuse me.
country rock. Bless you.
What kind of music did you say?
A little bit country, a little bit rock.
It's a little bit. It's kind of in the middle.
Well, I heard or read a little bit, and it was the blue jean country rock.
Well, yeah.
I like that.
Well, because I kind of think a lot of stuff comes and goes. Fashion and everything, trends happen.
Yeah.
And blue jeans always seem to be the kind of thing that's a staple. So I want to try to create music that no matter what happens trend-wise, it's still going to have some validity. Because there's some songs that are 50 years old that still sound relevant now.
Yeah.
And there's some songs that were done 2 years ago that don't sound relevant because of
Right.
the production. So you try to create something that
Will last.
will last. That's not so trend heavy, but just blue jean.
Which that's why you wouldn't do like say corduroy country because
Well,
like the wicka like.
Well, I'm not going to say no to corduroy, especially if it's a really tight corduroy, like
Let's bring
a
it back.
like a
Can
lavender?
we bring back corduroy?
Can I get a
please?
lavender?
Tell you,
corduroy?
I've seen some people wearing corduroy pants like within the last 6
Yeah.
months.
Well, between rings clanking and corduroy,
Man, you guys could have quite a sound.
Yeah, it's-
The two of
We
you
could just
walking
walk around on
the
stage with microphones on our pants.
This
Could
is.
be a band on
I'm
itself.
feeling this. It's
So-
palpable. The
Don't you
sexuality
think,
is
the hill
palpable.
person will look good in a corduroy hat?
Yes.
You should have a corduroy jacket with the leather elbow
Oh,
pads.
I like that.
Those
I
are
don't know
nice.
at what
Like a-
point
They are
the-
comfortable.
I don't know at what
Like a
point
math
they're going to
teacher.
enter the
Like a
camera.
math teacher.
Yeah,
There's
you
going
look
to
like
be
a math
the,
teacher.
The
Every math
Budweiser
teacher has a
Clydesdales are
corduroy
about to
hat.
go through
There'd
the
be
camera.
There'd be such creepy math teachers.
Is anybody else picking up on that?
Oh,
The Budweiser ponies are about to go through the background.
Us four would be the worst
if we had
math teachers ever.
If we had a cameraman right now, it'd be a great opportunity for him to
To
make sure
catch
that
the,
that's in the
Rip,
shot.
why don't you
there's the
zoom in on that?
Clydesdales.
Oh,
Yeah,
Rip.
I don't know. Our director has stepped
he'll
away.
be-
I'm hoping
they'll-
that
they're
they'll
gonna
go
be
into the. We got the Clydesdales behind us. If you
Yeah,
want
it's
to catch those,
Pretty
quick.
awesome
They're
moment.
coming. You
Just
can see
kind of
them.
missing it. So I'm just over there sipping water.
Very nice.
Once again, we are here at the world's largest Bratfest in Madison, Wisconsin, with our guest Rick Monroe, and those are the Budweiser Clydesdales behind
That was
us.
cool.
It is
Not to
pretty-
be confused with the other
With the
Budweiser
Busch Light
Clydesdales. It's pretty-
ponies.
Yeah, the Busch Light ponies,
Or the-
or the Bud.
Keystone has some like
Keystone has some dogs. They have like little mini chihuahuas. I think
Oh, I
Keystone's
love
the
it.
chihuahuas.
No.
I think,
The
yeah,
Bud Light cat team.
I would
Yeah, I
pay
like
money
Bud
to see a
Light.
team of cats get
Yeah.
stuff. Just cats
all
tied
harnessed
together.
up.
They would pull a red flyer like
Oh, it'd
wagon,
be
like a little red wagon.
No, they would just lay down.
So you guys have seen my other website then, Cat Harnesses.
Catharnesses.com.
Farm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Does that have a link to Banana Farm?
BananaFarm.org and
Of course it does. Of course. Why wouldn't you not?
theCatharness.com.
Oh my God.
So, all right, back, what
to
do you
the
got?
album though? I want to.
Yeah, the album.
Tell
Let's
me about
talk
your
about
music.
Rick.
The new record that's out right now is Smoke Out the Window, and we did it. A lot of stuff in Nashville, when you go to record, you end up hiring all the basic session cats. It's all the same guys, and they're great. But I think what ends up happening is you end up getting a pretty sterile sound because you're doing the same thing everybody else is.
Sure.
But I used the guys from my band. We went in and we cut it, the stuff that we've been playing live, and just tried to cut it as live as possible. So I mean, we didn't overthink certain things. We just were going more for feel, groove, and the emotion of it. And it's raw, but I think it's still it still fits. It's still relevant enough to be now, but it's not so it's not super pop. It is what it is.
It's very similar to what I did in my first album, which is I hired a bunch of musicians that didn't know how to play, so it gave it a really, really fresh sound.
That's a very
because
fresh
no
sound.
one knew how to play their instrument.
Dude's looking at this going, what is this called again?
Michael carries that tradition to this day.
What
An
is this
inability to
again?
play an instrument.
That's a bass. That's a bass guitar.
But no, I think
Well,
I think that's really important though too. And I
Literally,
I see
he had a
that.
bass guitar.
Yeah, that guy did have a bass guitar.
Yeah, he did. It was a
Literally.
bass bass.
Took a
bass
picture
bass.
of it.
But no, back to what you're saying with making it raw and kind of just going for it. I hear so many of my musician friends that talk about this album that they did was so overproduced, like that it lost all of the
Feel.
rawness that you
Right.
get from a live performance. But you don't always want to have a live, actual hear the audience live recording
For sure.
on your album. But to do that, like you say, everybody just jam out and do it up versus breaking down every single string and note. And
Well, and live on
it
the
can-
floor is always a useful tool if you're looking for that.
And it used to be, the one cool thing was back in the day, bands would all get together and they'd sit in a room, or they'd be within rooms where they could see each
Sure.
other and play and actually play the song, and then they'd basically take the best take of that and then build on it, is what we did. But a lot of the times we would go in, I'd be in one room and they would be in another room, and everything was done separated enough that some takes are like that take. That's the take, and all we did was add some backup vocals and stuff,
Yeah.
which is
Nice.
pretty cool that it worked out.
Absolutely
that way.
no, and that goes back to your blue jean style of real music, not
Organic.
overly produced, and that's amazing.
Because I've done it too, where we produced a bunch of stuff and we chased radio for a little while, and it's not really my thing, and I'm not gonna dog new country, but it is pretty funny. I just played out at Stagecoach, and literally as I'm watching it, I started thinking, well, basically they took like a boy band like One Direction and just separated them and put them in front of a bunch of country bands.
Yeah.
Literally every band that came up, it was like another like boy band singer playing
Yeah.
sort
so
of
it's
country.
And there's a place
a
for
total
that.
market for it. And
Absolutely.
people, there was 75,000 people there. So
Yeah.
obviously you're doing
so you
something
would
right.
say less organic and more vegan because it has no meat.
It's not even vegan, man. I don't know if there's like a new synthetic diet.
It's,
I personally like to eat plastic. That's my new thing. I'm a syntheticist.
So margarine. It's kind of like a
I'm a big fan of
margarine.
eating paper straws.
Yes.
The new ones.
The vegans are going to hate you for eating the straws, but everybody else will be fine.
Yeah.
Well, the Californians will. You go to jail.
Well, straws
They're
are a big
illegal.
deal.
My question is, with the paper straws, can you do the roll up and snap the finger pop thing?
I don't know. We have to
think
find that
so.
out. I don't think
You
so.
can do it with the metal things, but you got to do some like finger push-ups before you break the metal.
Yeah.
Or your finger.
So
Did you say that's so stupid, Michael?
You're like, what is a finger push-up?
I'm just trying to change the subject.
Why?
Why?
Finger push-ups
Straws
are
like
very
a
important.
hot button issue.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted
You're
to
right.
hear.
You're right.
Being relevant.
That becomes.
Yes. What did you want to hear, Angela?
Well, I wanted to hear or ask if you've played for anybody that would be any big.
Like anybody in
parties or-
Russia? Did you ever play
Craziest
Russia?
thing I ever did is actually I was doing Voice of America, and the lady after I did the show goes, "Hey, would you want to do a private concert for Mikhail Gorbachev?"
Really?
And I was like,
Wow.
"Sure." She says, "Yeah, he's coming into the country. We're doing a big thing. There's a fundraiser. You're going to go up and down the Potomac on the USS Sequoia, which used to be the old presidential yacht." And Mikhail Gorbachev's going to be there with like 50 people, all
Wow.
high-end fundraisers.
Wow.
So there I was. I'm sitting on a boat doing vodka shots with Gorbachev.
Yeah. Nice.
Just it was the most.
Did you touch the
surrealistic-
spot?
I kept staring at it.
Did
Dude, I swear to
How
God.
could you not?
Well, thank you for knowing about this spot. Well, the thing is, you tell yourself not to look at it, but it's like moly, moly, moly,
Yeah.
moly, 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 moly.
Most
And the whole time, you're just, and you can't help yourself. You're just like, and I got a picture of me, and I'm like shaking his hand, like. And I tried so hard not to, but I mean, you can't help yourself,
can't.
man.
No,
But no,
it's-
he's a nice, and then because of that, he invited me to come, and I got to play Russia for like a month. I toured and I raised
gosh.
money for his orphanages
Wow.
for the Frank
Cool.
Foundation.
That's
Because
so cool.
Yeltsin's wife and his wife put together a big foundation for orphans and for adoption. And so, yeah, I spent a month touring the whole country, raising money and playing concerts for them.
Wow,
Outstanding.
that is
So
really cool.
that was pretty cool.
No, the only politicians or any sort of interaction I've ever had on a musical level is once Anthony Weiner sent me a text, but it was not a good text. It was,
Well, because you do have the Wiener Fest. Anthony Weiner's like, I know Michael Alexander is the Wiener man.
Yeah.
He's going to appreciate
it was
this.
a whole thing, and not to get political, but that guy, you don't want a text from him. Not even a
No.
musical text.
Another one that was really weird is I actually got to go to Vietnam, too.
Oh wow.
And do the first time I ever sang the national anthem was Pete Peterson and John McCain were signing the the official trade agreement for the U.S.
Oh, wow.
Pete Peterson's amazing. I'll try to make this quick. He was a POW with John McCain for about 8 years. When he got out, he ended up coming back to America. Then he started contacting his captors, ended up marrying a Vietnamese woman, going back as the ambassador, and has dinner with his captors now.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
And he's the one who like spearheaded the whole naturalization of relationships and so I got to do the first time I ever did the national anthem was in Hanoi, in front of like McCain, Pete Peterson, and all
Wow.
these people,
Cool.
and like a bunch of people. That was weird.
That's impressive.
that's incredible.
I wouldn't even have dinner with an ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
Stranger than fiction.
Yeah, that was pretty bizarre, and that freaked me out. That's my first time doing it too.
Yeah.
So I figured since I've done that,
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Florida Gator games still scare me, but other than that, I'm cool.
You can coast. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even pretty. That's very
So my
amazing.
brother
Yeah.
calls me Elvis Gump because I stumble into the craziest crap.
I like it.
You know.
Oh, Michael,
Elvis.
are you going to be introducing Rick when he goes up on stage, or am I? Because I might throw in Elvis Gump if I'm doing it.
Well, we're doing a soft intro because we actually have an intro tape. So
Okay.
Yes.
it makes it easier.
So
Okay.
Rick will be doing direct support for Randy Hauser.
Yes.
And
Oh, very
you've
cool.
actually, that brings up another point. You were the ambassador for Jägermeister.
Yes, I was.
Oh,
You
wow.
did
So-
2 tours with Randy Hauser in the past.
Sounds like I'm in the middle. I didn't. We did 2 tours out on the road. Yeah. No, we did the first tour we did was it was Randy Hauser, Pat Green, and myself, and we did
Yeah.
a Jaeger tour. And then Randy and I did a club tour together. It was just Randy and I did like about a 30-day Jaeger tour.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the ones with Pat Green was bigger, and that was his first tour ever. And I actually was on his bus. Poor dude shows up. He's like, "So you're on my bus?" I'm like, "Yep." For the next like 2 months.
You were
I'm
on
Rick.
Randy's bus
Yeah,
with him?
I'm like, "I'm Rick.
Oh,
You don't know
that's
me."
funny.
Oh my gosh,
So,
that's
yeah.
really funny. So how often do you end up touring?
I mean, we're pretty much on the road all the time.
Are you?
Like,
Awesome.
we pretty much between Thursday and Sunday every week we're out
Oh, wow.
playing as much as we can.
Very cool.
You
And
know.
then is it all over the country?
Yeah, I mean, like I was just in New York yesterday. I'll be in Tulsa tomorrow.
Oh, very nice.
And some I do solo. Some of it I do like. The cool thing is this weekend or Sunday and Monday I'm doing Folds of Honor. I'm doing their big Patriots golf tournament.
Very cool.
So that's, and if you don't know who Folds of Honor is an amazing organization that for fallen heroes, like they take care of their kids' scholarships and,
Oh,
and
wow.
also their
Okay,
or their
goosebumps.
wives or
Very
husbands
good.
or whatever.
Stuff like that
So they do a bunch of that.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And you've gone on tour with Michael.
Michael and I have done
before?
some stupid stuff. I mean, fun stuff. I mean, we've done some.
It's
We've
fun,
done
but
a lot of
it's-
shows together. We have an acoustic thing that we do together.
Yeah, it's a solo acoustic duo.
Yes, we have the posters to prove
Sounds
it.
romantic.
Crowbar Incorporated. It makes absolutely no sense. But honestly, I think we both have stolen so much from that and put it into our own shows.
We
now.
have. I think it's made us both better performers for sure. When you're playing.
That drunk, it
Yeah.
makes it. I mean, when you're playing. I'm sorry.
Well,
Well, I mean,
I don't
the
wanna-
first ones it was associated with Jaeger, and
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
time somebody would buy a Jaeger shot, we give them a free shirt or
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
or a free whatever.
Since I had
sunglasses.
bundles of Jaeger
Yes.
stuff, it was
And
terrible.
so eventually they get tired of drinking the Jaeger, but they still want the stuff. So
Yeah.
then they give us the shots.
Oh, Jesus.
And then we would do this little thing where we would pretend, because you get bored, when you're out on the road, we pretend it was one of the people's birthday. And I'd be like, "Hey, everybody, it's Rick's birthday. Buy him a shot." And then,
Every
he would
time.
play until he couldn't see. And then,
Well, and-
next night it would be my turn.
and then
it
when
was,
I saw you guys-
you babysit each other. Yeah.
you
Oh.
had your hair over your face and your glasses on like Cousin It. So
That's
it was
his
probably
thing.
A lot
Yeah.
of Jaeger.
Yeah, there was it was, that's...
I remember one time I left to go to the bathroom. When I came back, he was passed out and people were playing his guitar. that's about the worst one ever. I just remember I go to
You
the
guys are
bathroom.
gonna, you'll hear a lot of stories
I
about
come
me
back
from the road. And,
and there he is, like laid back, and I'll just see
back,
like
no,
two
he's passed
guys like
out.
playing his guitar. I'm like, what the? I'm like, no. I'm slapping him. I'm like, wake up.
What
so,
are you doing?
So I just grabbed his guitar and I just played the rest of the night. And then he trashed the hotel.
Laid back, you
I
said.
did trash
Yeah.
the hotel.
And then he trashed the hotel.
Oh.
And
my God.
we were in Illinois, and I've never been a hotel trasher guy, but that was
He did
one
that
of the
night.
times that I didn't.
Next morning, he's like, "What happened?" I'm like, you.
Didn't you
You
tell
is
me
what
that I
happened.
kept going for the TV,
Yeah.
and you kept
Yeah.
telling me we don't throw TVs out windows, and
No, not on our budget.
I woke
Apparently
Not on
you're,
a crib
I woke
budget.
up to like it was disaster, and he was so grumpy with me.
Oh, I wonder
And
why.
Kind of like how you were grumpy this morning when I
With
got here.
you, yeah, I was gonna be you. See, because now I'm trying to. I've
didn't do
learned from
anything.
my mistakes, but that hotel room, it looked like a bomb went
I didn't
off.
even ask where a TV
Even
was.
like the plastic Kleenex holder was in like 1,000 pieces. Like every
my
part of the
God.
hotel that could be broken. And he looked at me and he was just like, well, it's going to be a long day for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it
Because we
is.
had like a show like
'Cause I knew he was gonna
3
hurt.
hours later.
Oh my God.
And so, like, not only did I feel terrible because he was mad at me, I had to play, like a 3-hour show or something. Afternoon, so you got like the Bloody Marys and you're just sitting there and you're like, I can't sing, and I feel super embarrassed, and one of my best friends hates me. I just want to go home, and we still have a really long drive.
And that song he still plays today. That's like one of his favorite ones. Honestly, the best story though between Michael and I is the craziest thing. We were driving and it was in the winter.
Oh, I think.
And we were down to a place, Durand, and the guy was doing it, promoted it really well. Had been really pushing the show, so we're excited about it. We're driving along, and he and I were having this long discussion about religion, as weird as that is.
Yep.
And Michael looks at me, and he goes, "Man, maybe we'll finish this over a beer." And then what happens?
So then we come up over this embankment. We're back on a country road, and we come up over this embankment, and it's just the snow has blown completely over the road.
Oh, I hate that.
And we hit the snow. And I just slowly turn it, and there's nothing you can do, and the truck just starts to float,
Oh.
and we're headed right towards a big old oak tree. And Rick looks at me deadpan, and he goes, "Or maybe not." And everything just goes into slow motion.
Like his comical, because I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe we should finish this over some beers.
Well,
he
'cause
says.
we're headed
Then we
right for a
then we
giant
start
oak
heading
tree.
towards an oak tree, and I look at him and
Maybe
go,
not.
And so I turn it
Maybe
just
not.
a little bit, and then we.
he's like,
Yeah.
looking at me like, what
Yeah.
did you just
And
say?
So I turn the wheel just a bit, and then I think I'm going to level it out, and there's this big truck coming at us. And the truck's coming at us, and I just missed the truck. Then we start to go to the other side of the road, and we're about to go off that side.
Oh my God.
Then I correct, and there's no way to control the vehicle. And
Maybe if you didn't have such a small steering wheel.
Yeah, maybe if I had a bigger steering wheel.
Come on, hey man!
Hold on, here we go, here we
You know
go.
what? It's a cultural thing. That was his Vato steering wheel with the chains. Don't come on,
in
man.
the East LA.
I see you got the Danny Trejo hat.
Yes,
so,
I do.
I mean, Danny Trejo would
Órale,
definitely have a
ese vato.
steering wheel on his tour
Hey.
bus.
So we turn left, okay? Bigger steering wheel. Here we go. Is that better, Ryan?
Yeah, that's
Ryan's a car guy. Everybody knows
appropriate
it. Turn left. We hit
If he
the
was driving a
ditch.
Bronco, it'd be like a big one, old 70s.
We hit the ditch, and the truck just starts going.
Oh my God.
And we hit.
It
We
was
finally
rolling.
stop, and we're rolling, and
We're on
we
the
come to a
side.
stop, and we're on a side, and my side is crushed.
Oh my God.
My whole side is just crushed in, and
you're
I'm
stomach-ache.
looking down at him, and I'm hanging in my seatbelt in the air.
Oh my God.
And I think he's dead.
Oh my God.
That's
it's
my
gonna
first
throw up.
thought.
Yeah.
And I'm hanging there in the air, and I look down, me being me. Hey, Monroe.
Oh my God. I can't.
Hey, Monroe, you all right? And he looks up at me and goes, "Yeah, buddy." This German lady shows
Literally, here's how crazy this was too. So the sun is just going down. We go off the road. The truck that we almost hit was a tow truck. One. Then the other woman who was on the road happened to be an EMT
Oh my
on her way
gosh.
in to work as an EMT.
Yeah.
Who lived around the corner. So
Wow.
she's like right over us, going, "Hey, you guys need some help?" So we towed the thing back to her house. Now we're sitting there going, "Well, what do we got to do?" Like, she's checked us out.
Wow.
And then we're like, well, we call the bar. We're like, hey, we tell him what happened. He's like, look, man, there's so many people here. You need to come at least say hi to everybody. So we're like, hey, we don't think we're going to do that. And finally, we're like, look, a good story is we survived and went to the bar. I said a great story is we survived and went and played the show.
Yeah.
So we call my brother. He's an EMT. He's in his pajamas back home in Madison or something, and we're probably an hour away from him. He shows up in the snowstorm, and he gets there, and he's like, okay, we go to the hospital. We're like, no.
We're going to the show.
He's like, we're going to the show. And he goes, what? I said, we're going to the show. So we went, we played the show.
Yeah.
You guys are stupid.
Yeah.
We got
That's an
glass in our
amazing
hair.
story.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
we gotta
amazing,
cut it
but I
short,
just
but-
think like
Yeah, we got to cut it short. We'll have Rick on again.
Yes, for
Ladies
sure.
and gentlemen, once again, pure entertainment. First day of my new mouth.
Yeah.
With Angela DiSalvo, Michael Alexander, Rick Monroe
Thank
is
you.
our guest.
Thank you so much for being on.
As always, Shawn, Schell, the Hill Person,
Thanks for
Ryan
hanging out.
Fielding of Paragon Customs. Thank you guys so much. Rick, thank you,
Hey,
brother.
thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
Have a
so
great
much.
show.
Look
Thanks.
forward
Have
to
a
it.
great show.
Me and this old guitar have been through a lot of things. I've held it more than I've held any human being. Smells of old stale smoke and it's stained by beer. So made me laugh and shed some tears, but it's always. And maybe what it may be strange, but it's blood and sweat that makes it sing. Every night we're pouring out our hearts, me and this old guitar. Me and this old guitar made a lot of friends. Done a dog and pony dance for the record man. Written more songs than you'll ever know. Played the empty bars and some sold out shows, and on and go. Maybe what it may be strange, but it's blood and sweat that makes it sing. Every night we're pouring out our hearts. Me and this old guitar roll down the highway in the middle of the night. Yeah, the wheels they never stop on this gypsy life. Yeah, that's who we are. Me and this old guitar. Maybe what it may be strange, but it's blood and sweat that makes it sing. Every night we're pouring out our hearts, me and this old guitar. Me and this old guitar. Me and this old guitar, I've been through a lot of things. Yeah, I've held it more than I've held any